fork in the road between thriving and starving artists is where I'm at. I really like your work. I can't eat lights. I need new heights. Just want to make a living doing the work I love. Throw the notion of a starving artist out of the window. Take the elevator down to the ground floor and jump on it some more.
Today we are lucky enough to have Diego Robot Martinez in the house. Well, he's not in the house, he's all the way over in El Paso, and here we are in Australia. And I'm very excited to have this catch up finally. We met quite a while ago in the NFT space on a platform called Voice, and ever since then I've been inspired by his drive, where he's continually creating. If I'm ever feeling like slacking off, I go online, I see Diego doing all his stuff, and just go, I got to get back there and hustle. So welcome, Diego. How you going?
Good, man. It's going. It's going. It's Sunday, fun day over here in El Paso. So I don't know if it's Monday already over there, but
yeah. It's Monday here. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's pretty great. That's already pretty crazy that you're already like a time traveler, bro.
Yeah,
So
I
feel
can
like
already tell you tomorrow is going to be a good day for you. It's going to be a good day.
All right.
So the whole thing with the Fork in the Road podcast is we're kind of talking about how artists can go from this idea of, or this physical state of a starving artist to a thriving artist. I'm just wondering, to you personally, what does being a thriving artist mean to you?
Well, I think the starving part keeps you thriving. So it's the hunger, and it translates in like an empty wallet makes you want to work. So for me, it's just never being like always having bills, always, because those never leave, and just really trying to figure out, like recently, just posting on more like all the platforms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't want to get too ahead of myself.
Yeah, that's okay. So did you come from a artistic family, or are you a bit of a black sheep of a family with creativity?
So super artistic. Grandfather, musician, played piano, singer, painter, and then a great grandfather, artist as well. But also my mom, very creative in a lot of her ways, because her dad was a carpenter. So it's been kind of like my sister's a full-time graphic designer. My dad was a poet. He wrote poetry. So a little bit of a bunch of weirdos. So it was easy for me. Yeah, it was easy for me to kind of like channel that and also find the romanticized part about it. I guess I would just find it. I thought it was so cool. My parents would take me to art galleries, and so I was always around art, and even took art classes with this guy called Hal Marcus, who's now my mentor in a lot of ways, but he's a 70-something-year-old artist here in El Paso. And we collaborate here and there, and we link up as well. So it's always been in my life for sure.
Yeah. So you've always seen that connected as to a viable sense of income, not like you have to go and do some other job like a. Were you ever encouraged to do like something as a base, like some other kind of what they call it regular jobs with a regular income? Were you ever encouraged to go that way?
I went
to support your art. Yeah.
Yeah, I was. I went to school for special education, so working with special needs kids as a teacher. Did substituting. Ultimately, wasn't my passion. I worked in the school systems for almost 4 years. And I worked with kids with special needs, nonverbal autistic kids, and it was awesome, but it was also just very hard, and I felt like, I think I was already painting at the time, so I was painting for 10 years already when I just decided that I was going to do a gallery, and I opened up Galeria Lincoln for a few years, and then I kind of was just going into different spaces and getting them going, and then kind of like once the rent would raise up, I would kind of just bail.
Yeah.
But it was always just starting different places, and then yeah, but definitely tried to do the whole teacher thing.
Yeah. And was that using your artistic skills, or was it something completely separate for you? Um,
No, I've always been broke, dude. I've always been hustling and just
yeah,
like
I know the
like
feeling, man. That's why that's why I got the podcast.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I was fortunate to have a supportive cast and a supportive wife, and
Yeah,
uh and just yeah, I think for me it was just trying to make things happen, and so I had no choice. Um
yeah,
but I'm realizing though that it's like everyone's different, and a lot of people don't necessarily do that. Like I wish I could price my work a little more. I wish I could frame it a little bit more, but so there's levels to it, I guess, but in a way though, I just got
yeah,
to stay focused on who I am, like how I'm going to push them out. It's okay to have sales. It's okay to, paint canvas packs, and just really focus on the process of it. You know what I mean?
hmm
So
yeah,
I think documenting it's important. So every part of the whole painting from like the beginning to the end is special. And so you have to like
yeah,
just enjoy it. I truly, truly love it though. Like I couldn't fit into this world with, I try to fit in like as a job, right? We all have to have
yeah,
because we all read books about firemen and policemen and even a banker, dude, but
yeah,
there's
yeah,
never, but then like the only art books are like, they're already famous and dead and their paintings are selling for millions. There's only like a Basquiat book, a Frida book. And I mean,
yeah,
it's just like, good luck, have fun getting there. And you're just like, all right.
yeah, yeah. That brings me to my next question. I've got a few questions from your followers, Kafkaf, who asks, and you might have just touched on it just then briefly, into which artists influenced your journey and your style in developing your style of work that you do.
So the Catholic themed art, Kiko Arguello, Kikoarguello. Picasso for sure with the
Hmm
cubism. Kind of just like this one, like chopping it up. But also I'm just gonna grab this one, but the pop art in the sense of like the pattern, but then also I like the colors Basquiat uses. But the first person I was compared to at an art show was like, oh, dude, you remind me a lot of Basquiat. And so
hmm
like the first thing I did was Google him, and then I saw his documentary about the radiant rose, and then my mom actually let me paint her hallway
Yeah.
after watching
Oh,
it. And
wow.
so
Cool.
yeah, and I painted these like angels with wings, kind of like his painting. I don't know, but yeah, he did inspire me because I would see him. I was doing art shows. I had just started doing art shows at Locklight Studios. It was this thing that El Paso's been able to kind of maintain. It's called Last Thursday. So every last Thursday we have like a little art crawl. Um, and so that was like the first time that I had ever hung out with other artists, like in a
hmm
setting, and it was just like wildfire for me. And like I couldn't really contain it. I just had to explore that. And for me, art was just always something I wanted to channel. So it was, now people are just kind of trying to figure out how I continued, but I think it's just being able to um, go through all of it. But it's gonna be tough and bad, and just really. But then you'll appreciate like the universe giving you those sales and stuff. So you see it work out for you though, if it's meant for you, I guess.
Yeah. Can you remember the first time that you were ever paid for your art? The first piece that you sold and you just can can you remember that, or is it all a bit of a
Yeah,
blur now?
it was like probably like junior year in high school, and it was $20, and it was a guy playing a guitar, and it was like a sad dude. Um, Kind of like same style though. I have a friend, Sarah Cortez. I don't know if she's watching this, but um, she has a lot of my high school art, like a lot of it. It was funny because I would be doodling in class every day as a teacher would talk, and then I would throw away my doodles every day, and she would go pick them up from the trash.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
and so she saved a lot and a lot of my poetry and stuff. Um, but then also I remember being so broke where I would, trade gas for a painting or just always like, just, yeah. But you know what? It's always been valued, even if it was a little bit. There was always some value to it, which I always found kind of special. Even if it was $5, you know what, dude? Someone gave it value like that. I just had fun
Yeah,
creating, so just
yeah,
appreciating that, and then, but also like it's all connections, man. So even more than being an artist, it's really how you wanna. It's really the energy you give to the person that's seeing your art or being in situations where people are trying to take a moment home and you're at the right art show selling the thing that people are
yeah,
around. But it's really just giving yourself for me, it's like just investing all my time in it. And I'm really just trying to see where it goes. But I don't have a plan or an idea or a set, whatever. I don't know if it's Art Basel or if it's a solo show in New York or just being like a rich YouTuber. Like, I don't know.
yeah,
I just want to keep creating and just see what's
yeah.
meant to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and see what happens because I think you mentioned Picasso. I think one of his quotes, I hope it was one of his quotes, is that your art must go out into the world. And like with you, your art is definitely going out into the world. Like, I don't know how I'm seeing you on your socials. You're, people holding up their painting of yours that's been sold, and even you do some incredibly generous things. Incredibly good idea. I saw you did like a bit of a scavenger hunt for your artwork. Do you want to tell
Yeah.
us a bit about that and what gave you that idea?
Man, so I was doing these. So there's this other guy. That I follow him for sure. Baron Batch, and I I would do these giveaways, and my friend was like, "Man, your art." He's like this NFL football player turned painter in, I want to say Philly, somewhere around there. I have to double check, but he does like these amazing giveaways all the time. So he kind of puts me to shame. If you want to check him out. But he was a huge inspiration. He still is. I don't give away as many paintings as he does. But the idea came from, it wasn't from him. I think I don't know, but it felt good. Because sometimes
Mm,
when I was creating so much art and I was just thinking of a way how, like, you see how each painting will take its own shape, or whoever it calls will go grab it, and then kind of like that painting becomes its own thing, its own energy, and then it has its own force, which is kind of trippy to me. And I've always like, it was just something really cool that I thought that I could channel without really, for me, I don't get, like, there's some paintings that maybe I'll get attached to, maybe if it's like a high material cost or something, but like for the most part, I'm not too attached to my artwork. So I create as much, but I also just, you get what you give. And so I guess
yeah,
also just kind of like, I want to connect with as many people as I can. And I think also it's kind of dark, but the death, the death is kind of like a huge motivator in the way I go about painting and living. It's because I'm not promised anything or a day or tomorrow.
hmm
So I just really stay focused on creating as many pieces as I can. And then Basquiat, I think there was like something where he created a ton of bodies of work before he passed away, and he died like at 27, 28. So
mm,
um, there's just a lot of things that I'm thinking about constantly that I have to, but also being relevant, bro. Like people they forget about you if you're not posting every day. So
mm,
like I'm gonna be painting all this stuff anyway. So now I'm just kind of learning how to document it and
yeah,
and then create content from it and add
mm,
value to myself. But yeah.
yeah. And well, with so like if I was to do a scavenger hunt around Jamestown, like there's not many people here, but you seem to have like a vibrant community in El Paso from what I've observed, and 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 also very into the art. They're into the art, like, and it seems like a lot of your followers are from El Paso because they're posting these videos where they've found the work. How are you? How's your community over there? How are you finding people, and how are people finding you? Is it through your gallery and through your local shows, or?
So actually, I am painting from home right now. So that's kind of like been the nice part. It's like I always had a spot, and then I felt kind of like you, where I was burned out a bit. Um, so if you would have talked to me, I go through phases where I'm like, I appreciate people here now. I just like the last interview I did, I didn't appreciate El Paso. I was kind of like in this vibe of I want to get out of El Paso because I felt like everyone had already seen my stuff here. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But you fast forward a few months, and then I just realized how special it is. Like you go somewhere else, and I always tell people that I'm realizing that people will appreciate you more if you're from their hometown or if you're from there. So realizing like, dude, if I'm gonna make it anywhere, it's gonna have like my best chances are gonna be where I'm from.
Just a quick intermission to say that the Fork in the Road podcast has a Patreon as well, where you get a whole bunch of special things. You get an extended hour-long advert-free things, like you get to ask the podcast guests questions. You get a blog where I deep dive things which, might help make you successful and me successful, because I'm learning along the way too. You can also chat with me one-on-one and talk about your art business and make it work together. Back to the interview.
Is the NFT space just a platform for like a promotional platform, or is it a serious platform where artists in the space can make serious money from? I know there's a few exceptions of people that have, but to me personally, it feels a bit more like a community space with other artists to connect. Or do you see it as a place you can legitimately make a reasonable amount of money at?
I think it just depends on what group that you're talking to, because I know like chat. I'm not making a ton of money, but I know there's people that are doing like ordinals, and they're not like Bitcoin is something that never goes down. And then, you know, I know a lot of people lost money on the Bored Ape stuff. So I think it is like trends, and really like, people are kind of funny where if they see a celebrity promoting it. So I think there was a time where like Eminem, Justin Bieber had them on their profile pictures, and people were just gravitating towards that. And so, the thing that I kind of, they're all money pits. I feel like sometimes, or I feel like they're all rug pulls, or, they're all pump and dumps. Everyone's they're there to try to make some cash. And so I think in the base of it, like there is a good time to buy and there is a good time to sell, and there is ways to make money, but it's really like you have to really be invested in trends and prices, and what's gonna there's ways to track what what they're buying and shit. Like get on that.
Hmm.
Like if you're gonna buy money, go buy
Yeah,
whatever the fuck Nancy Pelosi bought 10 minutes ago, dude. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I mean, it's really what you want. There's ways to make money, but like everything, if there's gonna be a way, there's gonna be a way to cheat it, and there's also like risk. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, for me, crypto, like the techie guys they're really cool, man, but they're not artists, and so you can, I think, it's tricky. Yeah, who
Mm.
knows, man? Who
Mm.
knows?
And you mentioned pricing your art like way back at the start, and just wondering like what kind of things what kind of formats do you sell in? Like you sell originals and you sell NFTs. I'm just wondering if there's any other kinds of things or revenue streams that you have, and how you go about pricing those, if you have a
Oh
system.
man. So no, I don't have any other revenue stream, dude. So it's mostly just paintings.
So it's paintings, originals, and NFTs. That's pretty
Yeah,
much your revenue
that's
streams.
it, dude.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And do
And
you
they say
and do you
you need 7 to be a millionaire. I don't have one, so
Oh, do you? I didn't know that.
That's, supposedly that's like the average of most millionaires have 7
Yeah.
streams
Oh, you
of.
need to get into t-shirts and socks and stuff. I
Oh,
got my
that's
t-shirt here, my uncommon
yeah, yeah.
animal here.
Sounds cool. Oh, yeah. Do
Yeah.
do people how was your response out there to the shirts and the art and
I think it will be a lot better when I actually got my book out there. So the last 2 years, I've been deep in the mines, in the cafe mine, buried in making coffees and toasted sandwiches and stuff. And
cool?
so my book has taken ages to come out. I'm almost finished it now, which is the Uncommon Animals of the Alphabet. And I've got a whole series that I want to do, but I think when that comes out, that's like the main show. You know what I mean? All the
Cool.
other wall art, t-shirts and things like that is just on the side, but we'll see because I do for my wall art, I go through a print on demand shop, and to get collectors to that print on demand shop, they go through my website and go to the print on demand shop and they purchase the work. But there's a big problem there is because I can't extract, I don't know who they are. I don't know their names, their emails. Like it's convenient for me to sell my work as on a print on demand shop, being a parent who's
Mhm.
got a lot of things to do, packaging up prints and sending them off. It's easy
Yeah.
in that respect, but in the other respect, I'm not growing my audience in any way, and I'm not staying connected with my collectors, which is something I think you've got completely. You're all over it because you're talking to the people and
Yeah,
handing them over and having that connection. Yeah.
I think having just variety, but yeah, man, it's hmm. There was a yeah, I used to have buttons and stickers and this and t-shirts but I had a hard time like just yeah, just a long story with all that. But I kind of lost myself, found myself, and here I am, Andy, talking to you. I don't know what the hell. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But I think it's just trusting the process and knowing what works, what doesn't. And for me, shirts were something that it was a heavy investment that I would just kind of sit on. I do ship out my own stuff,
Hmm.
but October, November, December, yeah, I do have crazy sales, and I think so if I focus on painting and then I'll push some stuff out. But I do need a big seller too every like at least twice a month for sure. And I for the most part they come. So yeah,
And do you ship internationally with your
no,
paintings, or is it?
just U.S.
Yeah,
Just keep it all ground shipping. It's because yeah, it's expensive to ship out. It's like $50 maybe
yeah,
some. Yeah,
yeah.
I could have it included, but I don't know. If someone like really wants it, I'll go get it, test it out. But for the most part, I haven't really had too many people ask for stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I find that's a big hurdle. One of the main like points for a lot of artists is just like going, okay, so people like to connect with a big piece of work, and that
Oh
you can
yeah,
that you can hold or whatever. But then you get into the practical side of things. How the hell are you going to get it home, or how are you going to get it shipped to your place without it
yeah.
being absolutely? You've seen these postal guys; they just chuck shit, and just think, how do you know how
Well,
it's
I
going to
have I
get there?
paint I paint like super small, so I have like the stuff that I do ship out that it's pretty. Yeah, I don't spend more than like $20 or something, so it's not too bad. And then right now I have free shipping. Let's see if anything happens. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, it's a
Sorry.
hard thing. I think that's where I don't know if so one thing that's where I was getting to with that is I had someone purchase one of my prints of Uncommon Animal, and they were in Dallas,
Oh,
and
cool.
so I got the print on demand shop which is in their local area. What the whole thing about it being kind of environmental is it cuts down on K's, of petrol or something being sent halfway across the world. So they got printed near where they live and sent to them, and that was a way around it for me. But the only problem is that it didn't touch my hands.
Yeah.
between I kind of digitally put on the signature and the number and that, so that it would be printed out like that. But it's an awkward balance trying to work out the international thing for sure.
Yeah, man. Australia, you're on your own little corner, dude. Everything's imported out
Yeah.
there. So, but yeah. How's the art scene in Australia? Is it pretty big?
The art scene.
Yeah, where you're at.
Well, it was interesting. In the local area I am is in the mid-north of South Australia, which is kind of like, it's not really outback, it's kind of cropping land. And we're in the midst of a pretty decent drought. We haven't had rain in ages, and there was a time at the cafe we're selling artwork, and we would turn over pieces out of a cafe, and it just stopped. And I don't know what things are like in Adelaide, like in the capital city here. Things might be a bit different, but yeah, we're very reliant on the farmers and the community in this region, and if we're in tough times, then that's
Everybody's.
everyone's tightened their belts.
Yeah. No, I get you. Yeah,
Yeah.
El Paso is just growing right now. It's crazy. Just ridiculous. But there's only like a handful of galleries. But there is like a lot of, there's a huge art community here though. Huge art community. And there's a lot of talented artists out here. So, there's a lot of bars and a lot of people that are out and about. So who knows, man? I think, yeah, geographically I'm where I need to be, but I think I always thought like San Antonio or something with like a river included in the city was like, I love Santa Fe and I love San Antonio. But you know what, man? It's all good. You could be anywhere, be happy as long as you're creating. It's really like, if you have this phone, you can be anywhere, and that's really all that
Yeah.
matters. Where home is that's where it's at,
Yeah, yeah. And that's one thing I love about the idea of the podcast, is because, I can't just pop in and see you. I'd love
Yeah,
to one day, but
yeah, right.
just like forming a bit of a community of people I can chat with, and I'd love to have you back anytime you're interested to chat.
Yeah, man. Let me know when.
And the same with everyone else, because we don't have to be isolated living in our little pockets anymore. We can kind of reach out to everyone else in our
Do you,
artistic community around us. Yeah.
do you get on any like channels on X or anything streaming about NFTs, or do you have any rituals that you get on? Like,
Well, yeah, with the NFTs, I found it hard to get into, and sometimes when I get into it, it seems to be the problem with NFTs for me. The thing that turns me off is that it's all like sell, 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 and like any of these, like they'll have spaces on X where people come on and like shill their work and things like
oh yeah,
that, and then it's like I couldn't think of anything worse than trying to be a car salesman for your work. Like
yeah,
you like the work or you don't like the work, and even when people don't like the work, like I've had, it's pretty clear when someone came into our gallery and my daughter came up to me and said that lady said your work's ugly, and I said, that's
oh
great. I said, that's great. She's looked at it. She's had an opinion about it. Like, I
yeah,
don't care. I don't care
Yeah,
if
that's
they
true.
like it or not. Like, but
Yeah.
at least it's, as I probably know what kind of artwork she likes, and that's probably not the artwork that I like.
Oh,
Um,
I've had it all, dude. Don't worry. I've had it all. Good, bad. My kid painted that, blah, blah, blah. Like, I've had it all.
yeah, yeah. And do you
Yeah.
just develop a thick skin about that, or does it affect you deep down, or have you just gone, like if you don't like my art, that's fine. You're your own person.
I'm numb. I'm kind of numb to it now, but it'll be like there before would be a little bit tougher. And now I'm just like, it's cool. I get it. I think it sucks that some people won't even talk to, or you can, how do I say it? Some people might not want to even be my friend because they don't like my art. You know what I mean? Like, there's like,
That's weird. Yeah,
yeah, but it's just, it's so connected to you and it's all good.
yeah,
But I like it. I like the fact that people like it or they don't. I just want to be in your face and everywhere and make it, make it known that I'm here and give people an option. But the goal is for the more people to see it, the better. And the only way, new blood is the only way you're gonna make money, and
yeah,
you gotta get new people to see it. And that's kind of like more than painting. It's that more than selling. It's the viewing of it, seeing it, getting people to see it
yeah.
is the goal.
Cool. And we'll kind of wrap up a bit now. But in terms of people seeing your work, where are they best to be following you and watching what you're doing?
YouTube, Diego Robot. I think you have me on YouTube. I'll send
Pardon?
you my link. So, do I have you on YouTube?
Yeah, I'm following you.
I think
I'm
so.
subscribed to you on YouTube. Yeah.
So I've been on that again with TikTok. Uh, I'm on Instagram. I'm on Threads. Yeah, but mostly Instagram. I would say I'm most active, and I post my anywhere, bro. I keep it all. I post once I post on Instagram, I copy paste that, and then I post it on TikTok. And then when I do that, I clear it on my YouTube list, and then for YouTube, I share it to my X, and it's like boom, 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 and it takes like maybe fucking like a few hours just to set it all up because I'm just painting, and then I'm fucking chopping up shit on apps, and oh, dude, it's an all day thing. Like it's
Yeah.
fucking, it's insane, dude. But I'm bipolar, and Andy, so it
Right.
works out. Yeah, so I need meds, and I'm all fucking crazy, and so it works out.
You, you can work it in with how
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
feeling at the time
I'm ready, dude. I'm
and go with the
fucking,
flow.
yeah, dude. I suffer from insomnia, bro, so
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Well, that certainly helps as an artist.
Yeah, a little transparency there for the audience. If you made it this far, you deserve it. If it's not cut out anyway, I don't want you to
Yeah.
not get my answer. No, but yeah, yeah,
Cool. Well, thank you
yeah,
very
man.
much, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening to the Fork in the Road podcast or watching the Fork in the Road podcast. For those people watching on Patreon, we also have it as a video on Spotify and YouTube. If you like the idea of chatting with artists, talking about how you go from starving to thriving, how you become a successful artist, whatever that means to you, whatever a thriving artist means. If you like this kind of thing, you can support the podcast in many ways. Apart from becoming a Patreon, you can just share it with your friends, or you could leave a review on iTunes. I think iTunes do review. Whoever does reviews, if you look in your podcast channel, if it allows you to do a review, or if you're watching on YouTube, please comment, please like. And I won't be one of those podcasts that go, you got to give a 5-star review. If there's something about the podcast you don't like, let me know. Write it in the comments and see if I can, tweak it a little bit to make it work better for everybody. But yeah, 5-star review would be pretty awesome. But anyway, check you next time.